Well, if you wanted to create a powder keg situation this fall, what you might do is tell mothers and fathers that after a year and a half of Zoom learning and masking and endless talks about miracle vaccines, guess what? Your kid may not be doing in-person learning again this fall. I mean, I'm just saying that seems to be what Randi Weingarten, who is head of the ATF, the American Teachers Federation, which is one of the largest teachers unions, that seems to be at least what she's saying here. Watch.
Has really thrown this curveball that says that while vaccination is the number one gold standard, that we need to, bring back our masks for schools. So the bottom line is we're going to keep kids safe, we're going to keep our members safe, and we're going to try to open up schools, and we're going to try to move through this political battlefield.
Yeah, remember when our leaders who faced crises in the past, they used to say that we must carry on. Remember Winston Churchill's bravery against Hitler? That comes to mind. I mean, even after 9/11, President Bush wanted us to get back to normal. And I still remember the whole saying, keep America rolling, which in the face of a devastating terrorist attack, that was a call from our leaders to not stop living, to get back to life, even though we were going to be engaged in an uncertain fight. Keep calm, carry on, even though the next terrorist attack felt imminent at the time. See, it seems our leaders back then understood that the enemy had already won if we all just hid in our homes, afraid to go out and live lives. See our kids' recital, go to the kids' football game, go to a movie or play, or stop gathering together for the game. Our leaders used to understand that if we're going to live in fear because of an imminent nuclear attack, for example, which was possible during the Cold War, or a terrorist attack, which is still possible anytime, what's the point of living at all? Once you live in fear like that, in constant fear, you've already lost what made life worth living. And that means the enemy already won. So why should our approach to dealing with this enemy, a coronavirus, why should that be any different? It shouldn't be. But see, leaders like Randi Weingarten, they don't seem to have the stomach to stand up, well, actually, or maybe the motivation. It might be something else. See, it was revealed, you might remember, that the CDC didn't reopen schools last year at the request of Randi Weingarten, which meant that her teachers union was actually writing school policies as from the CDC, school-related guidance like masking, whether or not schools could open, rather than actually following the science. And let's be real, this viral enemy that's called coronavirus, it is especially hard on our kids, but not because coronavirus hurts them, like the media says. If that were true, we'd all understand why kids have been Zoom learning and masking off and on for the past year and a half. The virus actually only hurts older adults, people with comorbidities, for the most part, and very few at that. And now we have so many tools to defend against this enemy too. Therapeutics, better hospital protocols, even more knowledge about the virus itself. That's why at the peak of the pandemic, thousands of people, and again, when you look at it, it was those who had had comorbidities, they were elderly, but you had thousands of people dying a day from the virus. And now you show a few hundred, maybe on average each day. A few hundred Americans also died of Alzheimer's yesterday, but we don't stop life. And that's not being cruel, it's cruel to stop life. We also have a miraculously safe and effective vaccine, we're told. Everybody said this, everybody has access to it. And the kids, all the data suggests, don't actually spread the virus, or at least very well, the older ones, and they don't die from the virus. And so they can't hurt the teachers. So why wouldn't we open schools and get our kids back to learning, living, socializing, and having just a normal childhood? And maybe the schools will open, but that clip of Randi Weingarten, that's worrisome, because it looks like our leaders, well, they listened to Weingarten. She's got a lot of union votes behind her. They no longer understand the idea of service and sacrifice. Perhaps there's an infinitesimal risk to opening the schools, but aren't our kids more than worth it? We've heard teachers tell us for decades how essential they are. They should be paid better, we're told. Better benefits, better pensions, teacher appreciation days, etc. And everyone does agree that teachers are essential, but right now it seems that Randi Weingarten would have us believe that they're not. And if teachers aren't essential, then no one is. And what are we teaching our kids by cowering in the face of a virus that has a survivability rate of 99% plus? That life can be lived without risk? That's a message that apparently Randi Weingarten should know. We don't send that kind of message to our children. The truth is, all the best things in life require risk. Freedom itself is a risk. And certainly one of the best things in life are our kids. Giving them a normal life, that's worth risking for, especially when the risk is so tiny with which to begin in the first place. Randi Weingarten, the school bell's about to ring. Parents have had enough. It's kind of time to start putting our kids first instead of politics and bureaucracy. And that means giving kids a normal childhood and teaching them that age-old adage that when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Yeah, and maybe if Weingarten doesn't understand this, maybe have a teacher take her place who actually understands. Weingarten doesn't even have children, as I understand. A teacher with kids that understands that truly living involves risk. You have an entire generation of kids that are depending on it.